Now, ECOWAS, or the Economic Community of West African States, has previously intervened with military force or peacekeeping force in different countries in West Africa, and in some cases in order to restore a particular government. Are these situations similar to the situation in the Niger Republic? Now let's look at these examples. And the first one I will use is Liberia. Liberia, where ECOMOG famously intervened in the 1990s in order to stop a civil war, an ongoing gross humanitarian crisis. And this is important. They didn't go there simply because there was a coup or to restore a government. They went in there in order to stop a civil war that was consuming the country, creating massive civilian casualties, creating refugees across the West African region, and causing regional instability and threat to peace and security of the entire region. This intervention by ECOWAS through ECOMOG was actually approved by the UN Security Council. So it's different from what is happening in the Niger Republic. Second, Ivory Coast, 2002 to 2004. Again, there was a civil war in that country between government forces and rebels, which created a large-scale humanitarian crisis. It was because of this crisis that, and the civil war, of course, that made ECOWAS and other foreign countries, France also intervened there first, and ECOWAS went there for the purpose of trying to stop this bloodshed. And they did that, having tried negotiations and peaceful means to no avail. Again, that situation is different from the situation in the Niger Republic. Next is Sierra Leone, 1998. ECOWAS intervened in Sierra Leone to restore the government of Tijan Kaba that was deposed by a military junta. But in this case, the elected president was able to escape the coup plot, and he called several times on ECOWAS to come in and assist. And do not forget, even at that time, there was also civil conflict going on, intervention from Liberia in the crisis in Sierra Leone. So there was a civil conflict, and the elected leader who had the mandate of the people to govern the country called on ECOWAS to come in. And ECOWAS did go in and helped to remove the military junta. Interestingly, it was I think it was Sani Abacha of Nigeria, who himself was a military man and a coup maker, who led the campaign to remove the military junta from Sierra Leone. Then the last episode I will cite was in the Gambia in 2017. Now this is similar to what happened in Sierra Leone in the sense there was an election, there was a winner, then the loser, the incumbent, refused to go, and the winner ran away from the country and went into Senegal, and from Senegal he called on the government of Senegal, he called on ECOWAS to come in to the country and help to remove the military junta. So that means the elected leader who had the mandate of the people invited ECOWAS into his country. Okay, next, it is worth pointing out that ECOWAS hasn't said they want to intervene to help the people of Niger, or for human rights purposes, or for humanitarian purposes. They said they want to intervene to restore democracy in Niger. Now, is there any right or legality in intervening with military force to restore democracy in any country? Now, the answer is no. In international law, there is no right, there is no privilege, there is no mandate for any nation or group of nations or organizations to wage a war or to use force to enforce democracy anywhere. As I said before, who governs a particular country is internal affairs of each particular nation. So Ecowas has no right to enforce democracy in Africa. I don't want to discuss what democracy means at this time. Let's just take it to be whatever democracy stands for. Nobody has the right or the power to use force merely to restore democracy. Now, the Charter of Ecowas and African Union might prefer democratic government. Of course, I also do. Everybody does. But things lead to coup d'etat. Different reasons. Whatever the reason is, Ecowas can, under its charter, decide to expel the particular government or country from Ecowas. They may decide to ostracize it. They may decide not to deal anymore with it. They may decide to stop bilateral and multilateral cooperation and things like that. But to go with military force to restore power or restore democracy is illegal. There's no right for that under international law. All right. Now, the final thing I would like to say on this matter is what I describe as democratic hypocrisy, prevalent in ECOWAS. Now, of the nations that signed the ECOWAS Treaty in 1975, there were 15 nations in ECOWAS. Out of that 15 nations, 8 of them were ruled by military regimes, including Nigeria. Nigeria was under military regime in 1975 when they signed the ECOWAS Treaty, along with 7 other countries in ECOWAS. So most of them were under military regime. Now, the ECOWAS Treaty was revised in 1993. At that time, at least 5 of the signatories of the ECOWAS revised treaty were under military regime as well, including Nigeria. So the question then was, well, if removal of governments because they were military was the norm, well, who removed the governments of Nigeria that were mostly military since independence? Ghana, many other places in Africa, in West Africa, were controlled by military regimes, as could be seen by the signatories to the ECOWAS Charter or charters. Next point, which again goes to the democratic hypocrisy I was talking about, is that at the moment there are 3 military regimes in West Africa: Mali, Burkina Faso, and Guinea. ECOWAS did not intervene there with military force and have not removed them with military force. So why is Niger different? And then, final point. Some of the current leaders in West Africa have very dubious democratic credentials. Very, very dubious indeed. Mr. Ouattara of Ivory Coast, the current leader of Ivory Coast, only recently changed the constitution of the country to allow him have a third term in office. He is now in his third term in office, has been in power since 2010. He doesn't want to go. The guy in Togo, Mr. Nasingbe, the son of Eyadama of Togo, has been in office. He's now enjoying fourth term in office. Fourth term in office. He came in there dubiously after his father, and he's maintained himself in office undemocratically. And it's now, he doesn't want to go. And then the current Ecowas chairman, Tinubu of Nigeria, he who only got into power just a few months ago, in May this year. He was the beneficiary of a massively flawed, massively rigged election. There were numerous evidence of massive rigging, voter manipulation, voter intimidation, vote manipulation, voter suppression, an outright violation of electoral laws. Humongous violations of electoral laws. And his declared victory is still the subject of litigation in Nigerian courts. So these are the people who are fighting to restore democracy in the Niger Republic. Who are they fighting for? It would appear it's not the people of Niger. In any event, any intervention by Ecowas militarily in Niger, as things stand under international law, will be illegal. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.